16 years ago, a 37-year-old man was waiting for a double lung transplant, but the lungs never came. He passed away while waiting on the donor list because Canada is one of the worst countries in the world when it comes to organ donation. We rank near the bottom internationally. The man's parents, named Betty and Mel, were almost 70 at the time, but they decided to do something about it. So in their hometown of Sudbury, Ontario, they began organizing an annual walk to raise awareness. Without any real funding or support, Betty and Mel never let anything stop them. Year in, year out, they found a way to stage the walk in the rain, in the sun. They persevered every year, raising awareness for organ donation. And the walk for a second chance got bigger and bigger. More and more people joined the walk. So many people eventually showed up that the police had to start blocking off the route. Politicians started coming out. And then the most amazing thing happened. Greater Sudbury became the organ donation capital of Ontario. A higher percentage of people have registered to be organ donors in Greater Sudbury than in any other city in this province. The Kidney Foundation of Canada, who oversees organ donation in this country, looked on that accomplishment with astonishment. And it's all because of two people doing one thing that they were able to achieve that. That one thing made such a difference. I'm in awe of Betty and Mel, and it's not just because they're my parents. I'm in awe of what just two people can achieve. Dare to push, and the world will always yield. The same year that my parents started the organ donation walk, Mark Matson asked Kristen Tully to help him create Lake Ontario Waterkeeper. And they have dedicated themselves to fighting for our waterways. They shine a glaring spotlight on polluters. They bring them to court. They fight for legislation, and they empower and they educate. I am in awe of Mark and Kristen. And we're here because of them tonight. And we're also here because of other people who chose to do one thing to help them. As you heard earlier, in 2004, Gord Downey of the Tragically Hip wanted to get involved with Waterkeeper. His band was playing the halftime show at the Grey Cup, big television audience. So he asked Mark, he said, do you have a t-shirt or a hat I can wear? Because it's a big television audience. And Lake Ontario Waterkeeper was so new then that they had absolutely no merchandise. They didn't even have the money for a courier to send it to Gord if they in fact did have merchandise. So as you heard, what Gord did was he took a sticker, like a hello, my name is type sticker, slapped it on his guitar, scrawled Waterkeeper on it. And that one small thing gave Waterkeeper its first national publicity. It was Gord's first act as an official ambassador. Yeah. So many people in this room have done one thing to help these wonderful people in this wonderful organization. Tanis Rideout wrote a wonderful book titled Arguments with the Lake and dedicated the book to Lake Ontario Waterkeeper. U of T built Watermark into their curriculum. The second biggest open water swim race in Ontario was named Waterkeeper as its official charity and partner. Mark's wife Nora hosted a dinner once upon a time that brought the most amazing group of women together. Sarah Harmer, Denise Donlin, Susan Schaefer, Anita Coons. Sarah not only performs at many of the galas, she's an active participant in Waterkeeper and has fought many battles to save the environment. Denise Donlin has hosted many galas, puts her time into this, invited me or introduced me to Waterkeeper. Susan is the chairperson of the board, and Anita has donated amazing artwork over the years. Look how many ripples that one thing achieved. Stephen Joyce invited McKeil Marine to a gala one year, and today they are the main sponsor, as you saw tonight, and responsible for 6 tables. Ed Bertinsky not only donates his time and his wonderful photography to the auction, but he helped negotiate a 50% reduction in Waterkeeper's rent. Bill Martin is funding a Waterkeeper intern for the next 3 years. Various companies have casual Friday fundraisers and donate to Waterkeeper. The United Way makes Waterkeeper the recipient of some of its fund drives. The Toronto Boat Show invited Mark to speak to boaters last year. Marilyn Bell, as you saw up on the screen earlier this evening, was the first person to swim across Lake Ontario in 1954. And she has lent her name to Waterkeeper, and Waterkeeper is the first organization she has ever lent her name to. How amazing is that? St. Patrick's Catholic School in Markham invited Waterkeeper to come speak to its students about water and swim, drink fish. And now other schools are inviting Mark and Kristen to come and talk to them about a swimmable, drinkable, fishable future. So my question to you is this. What's the one thing you can do for Waterkeeper? What is the one thing you can do to help? Because that one thing will make a huge difference. Big or small, it will create a ripple. The biggest things like Ontario Lake Waterkeeper has achieved started with a ripple. So you can start small by telling us your watermark story, or you can create a Waterkeeper connection out there in the world, or you can create that ripple here tonight by buying a piece of beautiful Canadian art. Because when you buy art tonight, you fund this wonderful organization that only exists to save the water in our lives. Buying a piece of art is an incredibly meaningful act here this evening. So what I want to ask the room is this. Let's set a new record tonight. And to help us do that, I'd like to introduce someone who's been part of every Waterkeeper Gala since the beginning, who donates his services and his time. This is the thing he does for us without fail every year. He is the Vice President of Waddington's, and he is our auctioneer tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, Stephen Ranger.